Well, let's cross live to Paris. And GB News reporter Paul Hawkins. Paul, Marine Le Pen is getting the backing of young people over there. From the people you've been speaking to, what sort of views are you hearing? Do you think that there are lots of people out there prepared to support her?
Well, there is a significant number of people, Alex, who are prepared to support her. Not here in Paris. In Paris, 35% voted for Macron, about 30% voted for Jean-Luc Mélenchon. He's the far-left candidate, and only 5% was polled by Le Pen in the capital. So in the capital, there isn't much support for Le Pen. Her support tends to be in places like Pas-de-Calais in the north. That's where her base is. That's where she shores up her support, especially amongst the sort of industrial heartlands there, the former mining areas, that kind of place where people there feel left behind. Those are the kind of people who support Le Pen. In places like Paris and in other parts of France, particularly the urban areas, there tends to be more support for Macron. But although he leads in the polls by 10 points, it's far from certain that he'll be victorious on Sunday, given that, as we've seen in the past with Brexit and Trump, the polls can get it wrong, and there is a significant body of support for Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the far-left candidate who came third in the first round. He polled 22%. The big question is where those votes are going to go. A lot of young people voted for him, and a lot of people are asking, well, if they abstain, if they decide not to vote for Macron simply because they don't like Le Pen, then that could hand Le Pen victory. So those people who are worried about a Le Pen presidency are voting for Macron, even though they're not really big fans of him either.
And in terms, there are lots of parallels, as you said, being drawn between the Brexit referendum campaign and perhaps the news coverage on plenty of other channels of Le Pen, pushing potentially that vote underground. But what might a Le Pen presidency mean for Brexit Britain and Anglo-French relations?
Well, you have to say, Marine Le Pen, she used to campaign for Frexit, for France leaving the European Union. Now, at the last presidential election, she dialed that down and said that she simply wants to leave the euro. Now she's not talking about either of those things. She's talking about securing French borders but remaining a member of the EU, and within the EU trying to reform it, trying to change it. She believes that French law should have primacy over EU law. She wants to tighten borders. She wants to introduce a policy where French nationals get priority when it comes to housing and jobs. So that would put her, those kind of policies would directly contradict EU law. So although she's not calling for Frexit, the policies she wants to introduce would put her in conflict with would put France in conflict with the European Union. Now, if she were to secure French borders, say many years down the line, say France was to hold a referendum on leaving the European Union and it was to secure its borders, then it wouldn't be so easy for migrants to get across France to get to the UK. So potentially you could see less people crossing into the UK, certainly across the Channel on migrant boats, but it would certainly have an impact, her relationship with the EU, on the numbers of people coming to Britain.